Jiu-Jitsu Worlds.
Next matchup in our opening round. Please welcome to the mat, representing the Armory, Marcelo Cohen. And his opponent, representing Kings MMA, it is Maikel Perez. Maikel Perez, Marcelo Cohen here on the Combat Jiu-Jitsu stage. I want to remind you, all of our matches here tonight are sanctioned by CAMO, the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization. President J.T. Steele, event supervisor in attendance, Chris Crail. Referees tonight, Mike Beltran, Mike Bell, and Jonathan Romero. Mat side physician, Jeff Roberts.
Yeah, Perez has some Olympic-level wrestling. So beware of that takedown. Cohen does a good job of pulling guard.
Cohen has an amazing closed guard, incredible Kimura game. I got to call a couple of his matches in his run at the Ultimate Mat Warriors tournament down in San Diego. His Kimura game is top shelf, loves the closed guard. So with a wrestler with Perez pedigree versus the closed guard, it could be a really, really interesting matchup.
We'll see if the strikes changed anything up here tonight. Looking at Marcelo Cohen, he said if people are watching him and want to know anything about him, that he doesn't care about the rule set of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He feels very comfortable on the mat in any rule set, and that includes getting struck in the face.
Yeah, he did mention in the countdown that his old school style is great for self-defense, and he wants to demonstrate that in his Jiu-Jitsu when he does the combat Jiu-Jitsu match. So we'll see how effective it is once they do start striking.
I really like that mindset of, like, this is what I do. I'm going to go in, I'm going to do what I do, and I want to put it to the test and see if it's capable of withstanding somebody that wrestles at this level or somebody who jiu-jitsus at this level. So I'm really, really fascinated by this matchup, actually.
A lot of action here on the feet. Should it last more than a minute, the referee will intervene and the get-down rule will be implemented, but no need. Perez with takedown.
And this is that purgatory position. Tell us about the purgatory rule, guys. Like, it's standing over. Yeah, I believe you have 30 seconds, that's correct?
30 seconds before I think it adds up and accrues and is added to your control time should the match go to overtime. And, you know, that's just to promote the action.
Oh, great shot there by Perez.
Yeah. There was some action.
That was a heavy palm strike.
You might want to call this purgatory, but looking at Perez, like, he's very active from this position.
Yeah, it's purgatory for the bottom guy, for sure. Yes, shot to the body there by Perez.
Yeah, if Perez can generate enough power here, he could end the fight. So Cohen really needs to work on guard retention as opposed to just hanging out waiting for something just like that. That's a little better.
Cohen may say he doesn't care about the rule set, but he's got to care about these strikes that Perez is raining down on him 2.5 minutes in.
You saw Cohen, you saw the battle right there, the ground and pound versus the closed guard. The closed guard there had no posture control from Cohen, and so he took a couple of shots as a result of it. He tries to get up and disengage. Yes, stayed with him to the corner.
Mat. Yeah, wow.
That purgatory position in an MMA fight against the cage, that's hell. You know, one guy that owns that top position, he's going to land a lot of strikes.
Perez getting a little heavier on the head here.
And we'll see what the approach of Cohen is here. We obviously saw him on bottom there, and he's got to worry about the offensive strikes there from Perez. Probably not a position he wants to go back to anytime soon. Big dumping takedown there by Perez, now in on those strikes. Cohen really covering up.
He's got to cover up or get underneath. If he's going to play that open guard position, he's going to have to get underneath or drag him into this closed guard with the posture broken. Otherwise, he's going to continue to take strikes from an athlete right here.
What I'd like to see here is Cohen try to take advantage of the multitude of strikes Perez is throwing at him and then use some of that jiu-jitsu to counter that.
Yeah, kind of use the momentum and the openings that the strikes create.
Exactly.
You know, that's a big
the overcommitment.
That's a big thing. I think a lot of jiu-jitsu players, if they don't play with strikes, you don't really think about that. Not only is there more potential for the guy who's doing the striking, but there's also more potential for the bottom guy when the strikes open up. They open up space at the ribs. They open up space underneath. It's an opportunity for the jiu-jitsu man to make his move.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah. It's a lot different when you're getting hit
That's
in the
right.
face, and yeah, every impact is making you rethink what you want to do next.
Yeah, why did I sign up for this?
Fancy footwork there by Maikel Perez. We talk about, a lot of mixed martial artists doing combat jiu-jitsu, a lot of traditional Brazilian jiu-jitsu players doing combat jiu-jitsu. It's a fine median between the two because it still maintains a lot of the authenticity of jiu-jitsu. In mixed martial arts, the cage, it plays a lot of havoc on someone wanting to play that ground game. And right now, we see Maikel Perez raining down those strikes. He's a LFA flyweight champion, very experienced in mixed martial arts. Now, Cohen able to finally close up that guard, but look what he gets for his trouble.
Like a Sakuraba double chop right there, man.
Exactly.
Cohen now into his closed guard, and he's starting to create an ankle. Perez is not having any of it.
Yeah, there was a small opportunity for Cohen there for that arm bar, but Perez very, very savvy, very aware of the submission danger that he's in as he goes in with that striking.
Over the halfway point here of regulation, should we go to overtime? It's traditional EBI rules with 2-minute halves of the overtime, and Cohen, he has a long ways to go to get there, but that may even the playing field out a little bit when you take away these strikes in overtime. But again, 4.5 minutes, a long time to bank on overtime.
Yeah, total domination so far from Perez in my estimation. He's been able to dominate the top position. He's landed all the strikes. He hasn't gotten past the guard per se, but he's got a couple of great takedowns. So Cohen's really behind the 8 ball here.
Perez representing California Mixed Martial Arts, teammate of Chad the Savage George, who won this tournament back in 2017. The new Bantamweight King will be crowned tonight. You know that Perez would love to keep that title within his gym.
Definitely. Yeah, I was speaking with Chad earlier tonight, and yeah, he's excited for these brackets, and yeah, really pumped to see his teammate do well tonight. Great blast double.
Perez is a beast.
See a shot of the belt there in the background. Perez and Cohen going to reset.
You hear the corner of Perez saying, he's dead tired, Michael. He's dead tired. They want to see him push the pace right here.
Yeah, with 3.5 minutes left, quite possible if he can keep that pressure going.
Left hand there by Perez. We'll see if he tries to pass this guard here. Cohen trying to lock him up. He does.
Got a bit of a Z guard working here. Keeps the feet crossed. See, he uses his left knee on the inside there to shield the hips, create a little separation. He's using his left hand to control the posture. So now it's not so easy for Perez to posture up like he was doing from the closed guard.
Yeah, that's huge. I think that would have been a great boon to him earlier on, controlling that posture.
Right back into this purgatory position now. And Perez is just wreaking havoc on him from here.
Yeah, Cohen managed to use that same move twice where he kind of kicks off the knee and then does a little technical stand-up.
2.5 minutes remain here in regulation. Cohen back to his feet. Really needs to change his game plan up here because he's been forced to respond to all the offense of Perez, not really able to get any of his own going. Yeah,
at this point with short time happening, I mean, you never know what's going on in someone's mind, but possibly a guard pull that was almost successful earlier. Maybe try to find some mileage there. I know Maikel wants to keep doing the same thing, use those little foot sweeps to set up a little quick single leg and just keep on raining damage from purgatory.
Works the underhook with a single.
Takedown offense here, on point here from Maikel Perez, as are these strikes.
You know how big difference between EBI and combat jiu-jitsu. Perez finishes the takedown. He goes immediately into striking. He's not looking to pass. He'll stand over this position, look to punish, and if a pass opens itself, no problem. I'll take it and I'll punish you a little more. Great strategy here from Perez.
Really lunging in with that right hand. Trying to spin through that guard was Perez. 90 seconds left here in regulation.
Cohen has taken a lot of strikes, but he hasn't taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, it doesn't seem too worse the wear.
What about his morale, though, Brandon? I mean, he hasn't been able to get anything going his way in this matchup thus far.
That's where the mindset of an athlete becomes so crucial. Like, okay, I've clearly lost this match so far. Are you down on yourself, or are you going to dig down and use this as an opportunity to make a big statement here?
And what's great is, yes, he's lost this matchup thus far, but how many points does he have? There are
Exactly.
no points.
Perfect.
There are no judges.
Yeah, he's just one submission away from winning the whole thing yet.
You have 45 seconds, Michael.
Great posture control again. Definitely mitigating the damage. Using that full guard to, again, keep him safe.
And without the as soon as the posture control is lost from that closed guard, the beatings begin.
Michael, you have 20 seconds.
Perez's corner really wants that finish.
Keep firing. Keep firing, Michael.
I'm sure they would love to avoid overtime.
Michael.
Perez has mentioned before, a lot of his offense here and mindset has been striking. Those will go away here in less than 10 seconds.
Cohen, even though he's been on the receiving end of most of the offense, he's done a pretty good job of keeping things chill, keeping things safe for himself.
10 minutes in the books. We now are headed to overtime, traditional EBI overtime.
Okay, that's good to note. Eddie Bravo just stepped in, said that there's 57 seconds of purgatory time that's going to count into this overtime here. So my understanding, you guys correct me, is that 57 seconds is going to be penalized to
Your escape time.
to Perez, though, correct? Because for standing
I
over
believe it is.
purgatory, that
Correct, yes. See the coin flip there? Nice big coin here at Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. It's a bit interesting to me that they actually flipped the coin, because in the past, the offensive fighter has been given the opportunity to pick whether or not they want to go offense and defense. And I'll call you crazy if you think that Marcelo Cohen was the offensive fighter in that regulation period.
Go back a little bit. Go back a little bit.
All's well that ends well, and Maikel Perez will elect to take offense first. He's in the back here of Marcelo Cohen.
Well, you know what we didn't see during the regulation is any of Perez's traditional jiu-jitsu positions, really. So
Little
we'll
Z guard. It's about Z guard and full
from
guard.
the top,
That's about
though,
it.
yeah. Cohen, we saw him look to assert his jiu-jitsu, but this is as classic of a jiu-jitsu position as you can see.
Yeah.
Let's see what Perez's Brazilian jiu-jitsu skill looks like here. So far, so good. Single hook, he's losing
Nice.
it. Very interesting. What was that time on that?
It's a nice technical escape.
Okay. What do you want?
This is Perez's first time in combat jiu-jitsu, and I think there are some tactics and strategy that you need to learn. And you can really only learn by actually, going and competing. I mean, with Chad George in his corner, I'm sure that he's well prepared, him being a champion of this tournament. But when you get out there under the lights, Eric, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. They seem to be both handling the pressure quite well. A little discrepancy here over the grips, how they're starting. Again, the fighter on offense has an over-under on the back, and the fighter on defense has two on the choking arm, two hands on the choking arm. That's the fairest way to start.
And this is where Marcelo Cohen could really reverse the tide here.
He's got jiu-jitsu tattooed on his ring finger. My man's committed.
Yeah, very patient. You can see his eyes. He's just waiting for that perfect moment to slide that arm under the throat, under the chin there.
He's playing with that single hook control there. Perez looking to shake that bottom hook out. You see he uses his left hand to try to pop Cohen's, and he's able to do it. So the bottom hook is now removed. Perez looking to scoot his back to the mat and try to scrape Cohen off the position. Cohen hanging on, looking for ride time right here.
Yeah, very smart on his part.
Almost off
Great
here.
strategy.
Maybe a hula hoop position.
Yep, so he can swing him off.
Yep, there it is. Credit to Cohen for getting that ride time, but also credit to Perez for being very calm and cool, collected there. First time he's really been on defense thus far.
What do you want?
So now we are headed to the second overtime, top of the second overtime. Perez back on offense. Brandon McCaffrin here, Matt's side, with his cell phone out, doing some amateur time calculation.
Yeah, I didn't do it very well the first time, though. So don't count on me for this one.
That's why we call it amateur. It's all right.
In his chest. Ready? Ready?
Perez really got to get some extra ride time right here, or he's got to make the finish.
No. Just like that.
Some more debating about the positioning of the grip.
All right, so he's back into that same single hook control that he used earlier, but see, Cohen starts to slip the knee. Well, he almost had the knee line slipped.
Oh,
he's in trouble.
He's had it for a second. Now it's a neck crank. That
He's
still
in
does
trouble
not feel
right there.
nice. That feels very bad.
Can Cohen
And he is
get
squeezing.
free? Trying to peel the hands.
He's got that bottom hip locked up. He's starting to
slide the hips
spin.
out. He's out. He's good. He's got a lot of pressure, but he's not going to be able to choke him from there, per se. It's just like all head pressure.
And there he gets free. It looked grim from Marcelo Cohen, but
Yeah.
able to weather the storm and get through. Now we are headed to the bottom of the second overtime. Cohen back on offense.
That was a nasty little neck crank to take there. It's not going to
It was
feel
a neck
nice.
crank, and when Perez looked up and looked to his corner, he sees Josh Barnett in his corner, and they both just locked eyes and smiled off the neck crank.
Former UFC champ in the house, the War Master, Josh Barnett. I mean, what a killer corner to have for Maikel Perez.
And this is a great, Barnett, one of the most renowned catch wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah.
This is a great rule set for catch wrestling, a great rule set for it. So if ever a catch wrestler was going to shine, this is the format for it.
There we go. Okay. All right, timer ready? Go!
Let's go, Michael. Come on, come on.
All right, Cohen staying really tight with that bottom hook. And again, just really trying to thread that choking arm under the chin here. But Perez doing a good job controlling the choking arm. And those hips coming up. When he bridges those hips straight up like that, it's really hard to keep that bottom hook in. Perez is doing a really good job of bridging his hips straight up and walking his body out.
He's doing a great job of keeping himself safe, but he's got to get out quickly, or he's going to have dominated a match that he lost.
Yeah.
Is what it's looking like right now.
Yeah, Cohen is definitely getting the better of the ride time.
Especially with that purgatory time lying in wait as well.
But that's a great point. I had not even.
No, I
factored
think
that
he's
in.
out there. So now we are headed to the third overtime. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we need to think Perez is thinking about. I mean, should he be patient and try to hold the time? Should he be aggressive and try to wrap up a finish? Like you said, Brandon, I think he's in control of a fight that he's probably not on the right side of time.
Timer ready?
Yeah, I think he has to finish here. He may be looking at it right there. Okay, so he keeps up. Every time he pulls the crank, it allows Cohen to slip the hips. Same thing we saw on the twister with Sheridan and Nick Honstein back in the time.
I don't know what the time is, but that might already be a wrap. I mean, Perez may be short on time already.
Yeah, I don't think that Perez can win it based on time. I can't prove that because I didn't keep the time this time. But
All right,
you take
so
the 57-second penalty, was it,
Right here.
into account, like I don't see any way he pulls this one out.
we're going to see Cohen on offense. Perez is going to need to bust out of here very quickly if he has any chance in
All right, reposition. Yeah, just like that.
winning this.
You grab. Ready? Timer ready?
Go. Let's go, Michael.
Perez has got to make his move right now. There's no time to wait. Cohen's going to hold him. It's the right strategy for Marcelo.
Oh yeah, he definitely. This was his opportunity to steal the match.
He kept himself uninjured, safe, moved it into the overtime, and is going to take the overtime for sure.
I mean, really, the truest definition of weathering the storm is what Marcelo Cohen did, and he's going to get a berth in the quarterfinals, it looks like.
Well, man, it's interesting. He came in saying, I want to show my jiu-jitsu is the best for self-defense. So he defended himself sufficiently and outlasted his competitor. If that's not an Elio Gracie style of jiu-jitsu, I don't know what is.
That's a wrap. 3 overtimes in the books. We will calculate the quickest escape time, add in that purgatory, and crown a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner after 3 overtimes. Adding up the quickest escape time, now moving on to the quarterfinals. Let's hear it for your winner, Marcelo Cohen.